Okay guys, after this latest food price index release, which there is a link to in the description, I think it's clear as day that the New Zealand government needs to do everything that it possibly can to assist Aldi in setting up shop in New Zealand. Now Aldi is a worldwide disruptor. Anyone who's been to an Aldi in Australia will understand how much it has changed the Australian food market for the better. From Stats New Zealand this week, the food price inflation has increased again in New Zealand to 4.6% in the 12 months to June 2025. This is an obscene increase, especially when you consider how much food has already increased since the RBNZ chose to let inflation rip just to save the house and Ponzi. And just look at it, all of that's incremental positives on positives on positives on positives. Milk was $4.57 per 2 litres, which is up 14.3% annually. Butter was $8.60 per 500 grams, which was up 46.5% annually. Cheese was $13.04 per 1 kilogram block, which was up 30% annually. So now let's look at Aldi in Australia and see how much you can buy these items for. There's light milk, 3 litres for $4.35. Butter, $6.99 for 500 grams. And a big 1 kilogram cheese block is $8.99. Now you do have to bear in mind that these prices are in Australian dollars and the exchange rate is currently 1.09, so 1 Australian dollar equals $1.09 New Zealand dollars. It's shocking how the RBNZ is allowing the New Zealand dollar to become so worthless just to keep interest rates lower to once again save the Ponzi. Everything is being thrown under the bus for this horrible little Ponzi, or big Ponzi. The poorest are having to face more and more inflation because the RBNZ won't raise rates to where they need to be, just to save the Ponzi and the over-leveraged property investors. So now let's have a quick look through their website just to get an idea of some other prices. Obviously, some of those things will be more expensive, but overall Aldi is far cheaper than any other main supermarket and the food is extremely good quality. If Aldi did enter the New Zealand supermarket sector, it would change the whole mindset of the duopoly. They would finally face a real threat. Even if just one Aldi store went in one area, the duopoly would have to lower prices in shops local to that Aldi or face total abandonment. You'd have tumbleweeds blowing through them shops. And then this would affect their prices nationally because consumers would not be happy seeing such a variation in pricing between what they're paying and the prices in the shops local to Aldi. So the whole industry would be disrupted by just one Aldi. And if you know anything about Aldi, once one Aldi gets a foothold, it spreads like wildfire and there's Aldis all over the place in just a couple of years. Now, if only the government could see that by enticing one Aldi over to New Zealand, the food inflation issue that is plaguing the RBNZ would be gone almost overnight. The government should be rolling out the red carpet to Aldi by making any consenting that they need easy, making sure that there's good land available in major areas that they can build on, and making sure that any anti-competitive actions by the duopoly are crushed. The duopoly will not change if they're not made to change. Why would they? The government's proven incapable over the years of making them make any change. But there's one thing that is 100% guaranteed to force them to make the change. And that is serious competition, which Aldi is. Once Aldi hits a market, every shop has to lower their prices or they risk losing a big chunk of their market share. Now you can imagine the power that the duopoly has in New Zealand, and you can imagine the lobbying that they do to government ministers to stop any competition from entering New Zealand. Now Nicola Willis is the growth minister. She should be doing everything she can to get Aldi into New Zealand, but I question whether the will is actually there. Now there is a Facebook page called Bring Aldi to New Zealand and I'll put a link to it in the description. They have got a few ideas on how to try and push this forward, but by the looks of it they haven't got much traction. So if you've got any ideas on how to push this issue forward that they may have not already thought of, then perhaps jump on their Facebook page and give them some support. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. And don't forget, the next CPI or Consumer Price Index print comes out in a couple of days. Now the CPI chart has been showing an upturn recently, and this week's food price inflation could mean that the CPI rises further. If that does happen, then the RBNZ must not cut rates at their next meeting on August the 20th, because if they do, they will once again prove to all of us that they are happy throwing the poorest under the bus just to save the Ponzi and the overleveraged. They need to realise it's time to cut the Ponzi loose. It's been devouring too many resources for too long, trying to keep it alive. Just let it go, RBNZ. Just let it go for the sake of the nation. And thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers for that.